listening to Mad Mike's Smile Time Variety Cast.
Hello everyone, bonjour tabarnak, and welcome to another episode of the Smile Time Variety Cast. I have an exciting episode for you all today because we are being joined by a very special guest, Basil Bonehead, to talk about Candlemass's iconic album, Nightfall. Outside of his appearance, I have some April 2023 album reviews on the way in just a few moments, as well as an album I missed from March. I will be reviewing the new Metallica album on this episode because I have to, and I'll be giving my thoughts on what they should be doing going forward. I also have a review for the new Overkill, new Enforced, and new Jesus Piece. And outside of that, stay tuned for my rant today as I will be talking about concert etiquette. Before I get to all of that though, I want to talk about something in the metal scene that needs to be addressed, and that is band names. Band names are incredibly important, you know? It's the first thing someone is going to notice about you. It is what is going to intrigue someone into checking your band out. It is what people are going to refer to you as for, in some cases, the rest of your life. And to me, the way you present your material is just as important, if not more important, than the material itself. Questy made a video recently talking about album artwork and the importance of it, and I completely agree with everything he said. And I agree with what he said because album artwork is important because it is how you present your music, and band names are no different. In fact, I think your band name is just as important as artwork if you want to get noticed. Think about the most iconic metal bands of all time. What are their names? Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Motorhead, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Cannibal Corpse, Death, Candlemass, Morbid Angel, all very cool, simple but effective band names that roll right off the tongue. I guarantee, in some cases, the biggest reason some of these bands blew up the way they did is because of their band names. Black Sabbath, for example, that was a dark, evil-sounding name for the time, and it appealed to the edgy Gen X teens that wanted to piss their parents off, so they listened to a band that had a very satanic, evil-sounding name. Look at Metallica. One of the biggest reasons they're the best-selling metal band in history is because of their name. The name just evokes metal badassery. Same goes for the other big four bands. The point I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter how good your music is if you don't know how to present it. If your band name is shit, your project will most likely go absolutely fucking nowhere. There's an album I'll be reviewing today by a band called Dodheimsgard, which I really like, but goddamn, that band name is not only bad, but it is a mouthful. Nobody's gonna turn their heads by hearing that name. Nobody is gonna get excited when someone says that name out loud. People are instead going to be like, Dodheimsgard? What the fuck is that? Now I know this is probably a good thing to most metalheads because not having a good band name means the band will not be popular, and caring about popularity automatically makes you worse than Trudeau in their eyes. But to us normal people who live on planet Earth and understand how the fucking world works, we care about great art getting noticed, and a good band name will make all the difference in the world. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about that. Let's get to reviewing some shit. Alright, let's start our rapid fire segment by getting the big one out of the way. The first album on this month's rapid fire is Metallica with 72 Seasons. This is the 12th full-length studio album by these metal icons, if you count Garage Inc., and for the first time ever, Metallica has released an album that I am painfully indifferent to. And in a way, that's kinda worse than them releasing something like Lulu or Saint Anger, because as bad as those albums were, they were at least fascinatingly bad. Like, the quality was so poor and so cringy that it warranted a discussion. And that's always been a strange kind of strength about Metallica. No matter how great or how terrible their albums are, they at least gave us something to talk about. Saint Anger and Lulu are at least meme-worthy. Hardwired and Death Magnetic at least have a couple legendary tracks on them that could be played on repeat for years. Load and Reload are at least divisive enough to generate discourse on them that is still going on almost 30 years later. But 72 Seasons just doesn't have that. this feels like nothing, and I'm just really indifferent to it and almost don't even want to talk about it. The album is fine. It's got fine songs, but really nothing that sticks out in your head is particularly good or great, and it doesn't have anything bad enough to laugh at. It's fucking painfully mid, and it also doesn't even feel like its own thing, which is also a first for Metallica because, good or bad, every album they released, if you count Load and Reload as one album, felt like its own thing. 72 Seasons, though, it just doesn't. It's literally rewired to self-destruct. It feels like these are all butt rock B-sides to Hardwired, and that's really it. I can't think of any real standout track on here. I can't think of a moment on the album that even touches greatness or even touches the halls of memedom. 72 Seasons is the most mid album I have heard since I started my channel. Metallica, for me now anyway, has reached the point where I'm completely indifferent about a new release. That's really all I gotta say about this one. And up next is an album I missed from March, and this album is Downfall by Swiss power metal upstarts Ad Infinitum. This is the fourth studio album in 3 years by this band, and the first time I am listening to them, and it's definitely a power metal album. If I've said this once, I've said it a million times before. Power metal is a very top-heavy subgenre. For every Halloween or Unleash the Archers, you get hundreds of run-of-the-mill cliché generic power metal bands like this. Oh, sorry, symphonic metal, because there's a fucking difference apparently. Oh well, the general rule still applies. It is very top-heavy, and Ad Infinitum does nothing on this album to reach that top-heaviness of the genre. The songs are fine, the symphonic moments are fine, the vocals are fine, everything about the album is fine. It didn't bore me or offend me, it's just fine. There's nothing Ad Infinitum does here to stand out. That being said, if you're a power metal / symphonic metal simp, go ahead and listen to this because you'll probably eat that shit up. And now we are talking about another mid-album by a creatively bankrupt 80s thrash band. Of course, I'm talking about Overkill with their latest effort, Scorched. And it is, without a doubt, an Overkill album. Definitely the Overkill album of 2023, in my opinion. This is definitely a rewrite of the Years of Decay, only with 60-year-old brains. Going Home is totally I Hate, but in 2023. This is absolutely a 2020s thrash album made by an 80s thrash band, and unfortunately it doesn't come anywhere close to what modern traditional thrash bands like Spirit World or Enforced are doing. This is simply another Overkill album, with generic thrash riffing, cliche solos, fast but repetitive drumming, and no real hooks that draw you in. This is certainly another one of the albums that were released this year. This is fucking mid. And the next album I'm reviewing is So Unknown by Dude Bro Core Act Jesus Piece. Man, this has been a rough month because we got another forgettable album. Only this time it's by an annoying, try-hard, hate-breed worship metalcore band that goes full dude bro and exemplifies every single thing I can't stand about this fucking subgenre. The whole goddamn album flows exactly like you would imagine a middling metalcore album to flow, with cliche melodies, guitar chugging that goes along with whatever the bass drum is doing way too much, production that feels like it was burnt on a frying pan, overly try-hard tough guy vocals, and drumming that sounds like it's trying to be technical when it's really not. The only good thing about this nothing sub is that it's mercifully short. So thank you Jesus Piece for only making this thing less than 30 minutes so I can forget about it quickly and go back to masturbating in my bed. Piss off. Man, this month sucks. And up next is Norwegian black metal icons Dodheimsgard with their 6th studio album, Black Medium Current. This is the first time I've ever listened to this band, and oh my god, they have saved the month of April. Amidst all the mid bullshit, amidst all that fucking Metallica crap, this band has come out and given us a fucking banger. Congrats! An album that doesn't suck this month, thank fuck. Anyways, Dodheimsgard or whatever has given us one of the most well-executed albums of the year, combining ambient raw black metal with an 80s style synth pop and Shostakovich era classical, and somehow the songwriting does not suffer in any way, and it all sounds perfectly cohesive. The first track, At Smelter, for example, is a 10-minute transcending experience with twists and turns that take you from beautiful ambient melodies to raw black metal brutality to beautiful synth poppy beats, and it somehow feels like a song that can stand on its own 2 feet. The next track, Tankin Spinnerin Smert, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation there, I do apologize, but it is another song that combines a whole lot of elements like black metal, symphonic Norse chants, eerie melodies, and it also feels like a cohesive song. Interstellar Nexus feels like an Opeth song that they should have made if they were still trying to be Opeth, combined with beautiful yet subtle synth elements during the chorus that give it just a little extra kick, followed by a Matrix-style dance number that seamlessly transitions back into black metal as the track ends. Anyways, I'm not going to turn this into a track-by-track review, but this album is what I've been wanting to hear from a black metal band for a long time. Everything about it is virtually flawless. It combines so much, and yet it all flows together so well. The band showcases all of their talents, and yet they still write amazing songs. It's raw, it's polished, it's subtle, it's over the top, it's brutal, it's beautiful, it's atmospheric, it's crunchy, all at the same time. I think this might be a masterpiece. I'll have to give it a few more listens, but I think this may go down as my album of the year. Check this one out. I just wish they had a better band name. And the last review for this month is modern thrash upstarts Enforced with their latest effort, War Remains. Enforced is one of my favorite modern thrash bands, and I absolutely loved their 2021 album, Kill Grid. In fact, it was in my top 10 of that year, and still is. These guys do such an amazing job of calling back to the glory days of thrash. This was one of my most anticipated albums of the year ever since it was announced, and I'm happy to say it did not let me down. In fact, I think this is better than Kill Grid, which is really saying something. Everything on this album improves on everything they did with Kill Grid. The production is clearer and heavier, the riffing is stronger, the grooves are groovier, the songwriting is tighter, the album flows even better from one song to the next. Singer Knox Colby belts out an even more intense performance than the previous album, and he sounds angrier and more aggressive than ever. The album knows when to get nasty, it knows when to get heavy, it knows when to let the guitars ring out and get groovy. In every way, this album is Enforced's best. Now, the only real glaring issue here is the lack of originality. This is nothing we haven't heard before, and this won't break any new ground in thrash metal, but I don't really care, because Enforced executes this stuff so well, and they bring such an aggressive energy to this music that I can't help but buy into what they're doing. If old school thrash is your thing, this is a band you should absolutely listen to. And listen to this album because they just keep getting better and better. And that's it for Rapid Fire Album Reviews. Moving on. And in today's edition of Sponsor Me You Cowards, I want to talk to you guys about Disarrono Amaretto. If you're a lightweight like me, but you want to keep up with Metal Meltdown during his drinking game videos, then this is the liqueur for you. Not only will it not get you that drunk, but it also tastes like Dr. Pepper, and it goes great with stuff like Coke Zero, Diet Pepsi, piss, jizz, Mountain Dew, crab juice, whatever the fuck. I'm telling you right now, they are not paying me to advertise this shit. I just think it's really good, and I think more people should try Disarrono Amaretto out. So go give it a buy. It's at your local LCBO or equivalent liquor store. Sponsor me, you cowards! And welcome to this podcast's classic album review. This one's going to be a little bit different here, folks. I am being joined by a huge fan of this band, a YouTuber himself, and to my knowledge, he is a big fan of Varg Vikernes. I'm just kidding. Welcome, Basil Bonehead.
Glad to be here. I'm glad you invited me onto this podcast to talk about this band and about this milestone of an album.
Absolutely, and in case you guys haven't figured it out yet by looking at the album cover that I'm posting on the podcast video, we are talking about amazing doom metal legends Candlemass with their landmark album, Nightfall. So, a bit of a disclosure here, this was an album that I hadn't listened to until much later on in life. And in fact, the first time I listened to it was a year ago. And within one listen, maybe two, it instantly became one of my favorite albums of all time. I really love just this whole album, to me anyway, is just a riff factory. And, like, of course the drumming is good. Messiah's performance on vocals, amazing. But in terms of riffing, like, this is an absolute masterclass by Lars and Mats. And we'll be getting into that as the conversation goes on.
You also have to credit Leif Edling for writing these riffs for Lars and Mats to perform.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Leif is essentially the Steve Harris of Candlemass, right?
Yeah, he's the Steve Harris of Doom.
The Steve Harris of Doom, yeah. Everything goes by him, and he writes all the lyrics that Messiah performs. Like, this is basically his baby. Like, well, Candlemass is basically his baby, the same way Iron Maiden is Steve Harris's baby, and so on and so forth. And, like, this is an album that I just quickly fell in love with, and it's become one of my favorite albums of all time. It's definitely on my top 50, and we're going to be getting into why. First of all, and this is something that I find is a lost art nowadays, and that's album structure. Like, song structure is one thing, album structure is another thing. Like, you gotta know where to place which song where. And I think this album does such an amazing job of that. It starts off with an intro, Gothic Stone, leads you straight into The Well of Souls, and then it slows down with
Codex Gigas,
and then gets you back into another epic doom metal track, which is my favorite track on the album, At the Gallows End, and then Samaritan right after.
A great song.
Oh yeah, Samaritan right after. Yeah.
I love Samaritan so much. It's
yeah.
Probably my favorite song off this album, rivaling At Gallows End and The Well of Souls.
Yeah, Samaritan, like, it's such a wholesome song lyrically. Like, you know, of course, really heavy song, great doom metal track, but in terms of lyricism, like, it's just such like a wholesome song about how just doing one good deed can make a difference in somebody's life, right?
Yeah, it just a feeling of generosity going on in the lyrics of this song.
Yeah. And then it gets into an amazing cover of Chopin's Funeral March, or Marche Funèbre, if you want to call it that.
I didn't even know that was a cover.
Yep. That is a, Chopin was like this big classical composer in like the 1800s, and Candlemass decided to cover his most infamous tune. Wrestling fans, I know you're a big fan of wrestling there, Basil. I'm just kidding. They'll recognize this right away because this piece is also used in The Undertaker's entrance theme. Not the Candlemass cover, but like the original piece. Yeah, it's such a great cover, and I wish more metal bands would cover more classical pieces. But yeah, this is a fantastic cover. And then, you know,
it also makes sense in the context because Candlemass and like other epic doom metal bands like them have this like very classical style to them. It's not really your typical, like, there maybe is a little bit of the rock and roll style and heavy metal style, but it's also just this classical feeling. Like, I could imagine a like a what do you call them? It was a classical band, I think. Yeah, classical band.
Yeah.
And doing a cover of a Candlemass song, but instead like with an orchestra, that's what I meant to call it. An orchestra doing. Why did I call it classical?
Fuck. Classical band, yeah.
This is what happens when you're recording on the spot. Your brain turns off.
Oh man.
But I can see an orchestra like performing like epic doom metal songs. And it could fit like a glove.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I think an orchestra could cover the entirety of Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, or even this album, and it would sound absolutely incredible. And same thing the other way around, right? Like, I would love to see a metal band just do an entire cover of Gustav Holst's The Planets, which I use a lot in my videos, like Mars the Bringer of War or something like that.
I believe the riff for Black Sabbath was inspired by Mars.
Yeah, that actually was. It was like there's a little piece in Mars the Bringer of War that like Geezer Butler heard and was like, because it goes dun dun dun, like that same thing.
I should have grabbed my bass. I should have grabbed my bass to demonstrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the part, because I've watched that interview clip made. I should just go get my bass right now and see if it'll record on the thing.
Yeah. And then that leads into, like, Dark Veils of Death, which is another fucking epic riff factory, Mourner's Lament, probably one of the heaviest songs on the album. And then it leads into, like, the biggest hit that came off this album, which is Bewitched. And then it ends with an instrumental that is Black Candles. And it's, like, Black Candles to me as, like, an instrumental, like, it's perfectly placed on the album because, like, the way it's structured and the way the riffs are and everything and the way it's set up, it's almost like a lament kind of song. Like it's a song that makes you kind of like lament what you just heard and everything. And I think that was a really interesting way to end the album. Like, you know, these were the adventures of Candlemass. Wait for more on the next one, sort of thing. Like, that's kind of like how I picture that instrumental. And of course, Bewitched, like, I know you got a lot of trivia for this album that you want to talk about, and like I want to talk about the video.
Oh yeah, that you surprised me with the fact on that.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know that until you told me.
So like that is a classic video in metal lore, right? Like it is, like it is definitely one of the videos of all time. I swear to God, like it must have been recorded on like Jonas Ackerland's like camcorder or something.
Yeah,
and like
Jonas Ackerland just looked for like the cheapest, like, which is what he ever had lying around and just used it. Yeah. And this is the man who like later went on to like make like music videos for various artists from both like metal, rock, and pop. And unfortunately, he was behind the not very good Lords of Chaos movie.
Lords of Chaos, yeah.
And also another fact, he was also a drummer in Bathory for a short time.
Yeah, he was. Like, yeah, he's been involved in the metal scene forever. And I'm guessing he wasn't that good at drums because, like, he decided to make films. Or I'm not sure what happened there, but...
that or just Corthon was just a massive control freak. That or his father, who ran the label that Bathory's discography was published on.
Oh, gotcha, yeah. That'll do it, right?
My memory on the lore for that is a bit rusty, so I'm probably just making blind speculations. I'm embarrassed to admit I don't know much about like what the behind the scenes information with Corthon and his father, because I don't know how they operated in terms of the business.
Yeah, like
at the time.
Yeah, and you know that fucking the music video is just like, I don't even think they got, like, of course when you're filming stuff you need location permits, shooting permits, and you need to get approval from, like, you know, the people who run the locations as well. And I don't think they did any of that. I really think this whole thing was just shot guerrilla style. And they were just like, okay, get this shot done now. Okay, oh shit, the cops are coming. Go. You know, like,
like in broad daylight, like one of those really crappy low budget movies.
You know, and like the girl who gets like bewitched in the video, I'm sure it's just like some rando on the street. Let's just like point the camera at her. Hey, you are bewitched. Walk with us, or something like it's just.
These were black metal music videos before black metal music videos.
Oh yeah, and it was a doom metal band.
Yeah, it was an epic doom metal band.
Yeah. Bewitched, Candlemass, and I think like the video on YouTube anyway is like it's maxed out at 240p. Like
I'm checking right now.
Yeah, it's maxed out at 240p. So that is quite potato quality, right?
Yeah, I was about to say that. That is very potato.
But of course, it gave us like one of the greatest gifs in metal history, which is like the whole stomping, headbanging thing.
The Doom Dance, I believe it's called.
Yep. And this is a piece of trivia that I told Basil about before we recorded this, and that is, you know, one of the people stomping in that GIF? It is Per Olin, also known as Dead from Mayhem.
I think shocked. when I was told that.
I'm not sure which one he is. I believe it's one of the blondes in the front, just
like directly behind Messiah.
Directly behind Messiah. But yeah, Dead is in this video, which of course, since we're doing 6 degrees of separation, let's talk about Varg now. No, I'm kidding.
Our favorite Jew respecter.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. So yes, this is so funny enough, it's directed by Jonas Ackerland. It features Dead. Jonas Ackerland also directed the epic fail that was Lords of Chaos. And yeah.
He also, and I believe he had contact with Dead's family when getting information for the movie.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he stayed well connected with all of them.
Yeah. From what I've seen, Jonas is not one to be like confrontational. Like, he was not Euronymous.
No, or Varg. Yeah. So, bit of a background information on this album. So this is their second album. Their debut, which was Epicus Doomicus Metallicus, another phenomenal record. That one is like near perfect to me. It's like a 9.5 out of 10. It features the epic fucking track that is Solitude. But famously or infamously, it did not do very well sales-wise. Like it was like, people, like the people who listened to it loved it, but it financially was an absolute bomb for them, and the record label they were on at the time dropped them like a fucking bad habit. And it was like, based off what I'm reading from Leaf here, he didn't know if they were gonna have a band anymore. Because their singer left too.
Well, actually, when it came to Johann Langwitz, who sang on Epicus, he was a session singer because he had commitments with his own band.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he's not credited as a part of the band, because he's basically a session singer. Before they found, actually, and this is an interesting story with how Messiah joined the band. Because apparently it was, according to the Metallica page, he called Leaf late at night singing Solitude a cappella style over the phone. with his mom like holding the phone. This is all according to this. It is kind of funny though.
Oh yeah. And that's how Messiah joined the band, right? And he's like, I'm your new singer. I'm your new singer,
Yeah. And also, along with that, this was the first Candlemass album to feature what is considered the classic lineup, sans Messiah, because they're the main foundation. And obviously, the singer, it's whoever they can find at the time. Because it consisted of we have Mats, Map Bjorkman, Leif Edling, of course, Jan Lind, and Lars Johansson. Leif and Mats being probably the two most... Well, Mats is probably the second most constant, because he was there from Epicus till their breakup in the 90s, and then their reunion to the present.
Yeah.
And Mats, Leif, Jan, and Lars are still the same lineup from their reunion from the 2000s to today, with whether it be Messiah or Robert Lowe or Johann again. So it's good to know that since their reunion, they've managed to keep a stable lineup with their instrumentalists.
Yeah. And then, of course, Messiah joins the band after that phone call, and that's how this album came to be. And I think Messiah was the absolute perfect fit for them at the time, even though they did have good singers for them outside of Messiah later on. And, he's just like, fundamentally, this album is extremely heavy, very riff-oriented, obviously.
Flows well.
Lars's solos on this thing, like on Bewitched especially, that fucking solo is just like one of the most epic solos in the history of metal. And he performed that solo in the video with a cast on his fucking arm, which is fucking bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's you can see it in the video when he's performing the solo. He's got like a cast around his wrist and everything.
I need to watch that video. Also, apparently, again, I'm just looking at random pieces of information. Apparently, lyrically, Bewitched was a reimagining of the ancient German legend of the Pied Piper of Hamelin? And apparently Gothic Stone was originally the title of the album, but Messiah, according to this, Messiah rejected the idea, giving it to the band to use Nightfall instead. And apparently the cover, which is an old painting, was Messiah's idea, and it was called The Voyage of Life by Thomas Cole.
Thomas Cole, yeah.
And apparently the Well of Souls, based off a secret chamber located in the city of Tanis, which appeared in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nice. That album cover is actually a part of a series that Thomas Cole painted, which is called The Voyage of Life, but this particular painting is called Old Age. And then if you look at that series and you look at Youth, which is another painting in this series, you'll see the cover of their follow-up.
Yes, it is.
Yep,
that's the Ancient Dreams cover right there.
Yep, so they were big fans of Thomas Cole and the Voyage of Life. But yeah, and honestly, that cover's fucking iconic. The album art, it's one of my favorite pieces of album art ever. Even though it technically wasn't intended to be album art when it was originally painted, I think it was used very well.
It files under the category of classic piece made by an iconic painter repurposed into an album cover.
Yeah,
Thomas Cole could be filed under that category with the likes of H.R. Giger.
Yeah, and, I know this is probably going to be a boring review for some because we're just kind of, going along with the crowd, but, sometimes you don't really want to do any hot takes. Sometimes you just want, takes. Yeah. By the way, everyone, this album is super overrated. Fuck this one. Candlemass suck. No, I'm kidding. But...
The 90s output was better.
Oh, Jesus.
I can already hear a version of Bewitched, but instead of saying "you are bewitched," the lyrics are changed to say "you are a bitch."
You are a bitch.
Yeah. But jokes aside. Yeah, while it is in the upper echelons of one of my favorite albums from Candlemass, it's not my favorite. It's probably in the top 3. I still have not made up my mind.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, well, that's fair because I listened to their entire discography recently, and if y'all join my Discord, you can see my thoughts on that discography, and I don't think I don't think they've made.
And you can see the
album.
brutal fist fight that we got into.
Yeah, the brutal fist. Yeah, yeah. But
jokes aside,
yeah. I don't think they've made a bad album. They've come close a couple times.
Twice.
Yeah, their most recent one was. But even then, it's a solid 6 out of 10, I think. But, I listened to their entire discography, and, I know some people aren't big fans of, the non-Messiah records, which is totally fair, but, I've listened to them, and I was like, this is way better than what I was expecting. I was expecting dog shit.
Yeah, you and I both.
And they were all, very...
Chapter 6.
Very well they were all very well structured, very solid albums, and... Some of them were even bordering on great. Some of them I even think are better than some of Messiah's work. So
everyone go listen to Chapter 6 and Dactylis Glimmerata. Those are probably the best of those 90s albums. From the 13th Sun is probably the weakest of those. Though I will say the song Droid is really good.
Yeah. And just going back to Nightfall, so the song we talked about the video ad nauseum, but the song, I just think it's so well structured, and to me the intro of the song is one of the best moments in metal. It has that fucking riff, dun 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 dun. And then it leads into those first couple of lines where it's can't you see the devil in me? Just take a look in my eyes. And that is one of the most metal moments in a song of all fucking time to me. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but it's just it's just one of those like moments you listen to and it's like the hair raises on the back of your neck, right? You there?
Yeah. I got nothing to comment. Like, yeah, I pretty much agree.
Okay.
Sorry for this. Sorry. I'm like,
yeah.
You just insert the internet dialogue sound.
Yeah, I'll just put in like crickets to that and just be like, well, I guess I said everything he wanted to say there.
Yeah. I had another piece of trivia, but I didn't want to derail.
Yeah.
Because I almost forgot another piece of trivia that I just found.
Yeah,
almost forgot about.
What's the piece of trivia?
Apparently, there was a guest, a session musician, specifically on Black Candles, actually. And I think on this, I think it was all the album. Actually, I'm trying to figure it out because I'm looking at the credits and I'm trying to make heads or tails about it. But apparently, with Black Candles, it was
Mike Weed,
written by Mike Weed.
Yeah.
Who, for those who don't know, has been in so many goddamn things it's not even funny.
Yeah, he looks like it was Merciful Fate's guitar player. King Diamond. He was in Hexenhaus. Memento
He was
Mori.
actually in Abstract Algebra with Leaf for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I'm just noticing that now. He was also in The Haunted, not the 6 Feet Under album, I hope.
Hope not. Also, he was in Messiah. He was also in Memento Mori, which was Messiah's band after leaving Candlemass.
Yeah, you have a video on your channel about like Messiah's time outside of Candlemass, right?
Specifically after he left for the last time.
Oh, okay.
That video was in the context of what Messiah was doing following, like, post 2000. What was it? 2006.
Yeah.
And what he's been doing, like all the Messiah sightings that he's done over the years, like with all the bands that he like guest appear on. The only thing he ever did recording wise was that one appearance on that Amon Amarth album, Deceiver of the Gods.
Yeah.
And apparently, supposedly, from people in the comments, said he is working on a solo album. I'm kind of doubting that at this point because I have no evidence aside from the description on his personal YouTube channel, which has pretty much been dormant for years. But it says here, hello friends, Messiah Marklin here. I am writing doom metal songs for my first solo album. I am former vocalist of Candlemass, Memento Mori, and Mercy. This is Messiah Marklin TV, and I run it myself, Doom On, and that's all it says on the YouTube channel. But I know the last known Messiah sighting, at least that's on YouTube, that I found at the time I made that video was when he was performing with The Skull, which was Eric Wagner's band before he passed away. And it's him and Messiah duetting the classic Trouble song At the End of My Days. Which, fun fact for those who don't know, Trouble was a massive influence on Candlemass.
Trouble.
And a lot of other bands.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through some other notes on this album, and like the other one too is like that main riff for At the Gallows End, like the dun 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 da 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 dun dun dun.
Yeah.
I fucking love that riff so much. It's probably my favorite riff on the album. The build up to it is incredible, obviously. It's
good.
one of the best songs on the album, and like that's the
really
closest.
Rivals Samaritans for me.
That's the closest they got to like sounding like a thrash band with that fucking riff, because it's got that chug to it, right?
At the Veils of Death is closer to being thrashier than At the Gallows End.
That too, yeah. Again, this is such am I right in calling this a dark album? Because obviously it's doom metal. Like doom metal just like by nature sounds dark, right? It's a fucking heavy album, and I really enjoy the production on it too. The production on it has that classic 80s raw metal sound that made stuff like, obviously this album, but like Master of Puppets and like Scream Bloody Gore sounds so special at the time too. So I really enjoy the production on this one. Production, riffing, drumming, like the drumming's not the most complex shit in the world. You're not exactly listening to Gene Hoglan or anything, but like it does its job the same way Bill Ward does his job with Sabbath and everything. Guitar playing, obviously fucking phenomenal. Riffs, solos, melodies, harmonies, everything phenomenal. Leaf as the main songwriter, to me anyway, this was his masterpiece. And yeah, from top to bottom, this album's like a 10 out of 10 for me. But I'm interested to hear whatever your rating is, and what albums you think are better.
I'd say it's definitely there in the upper echelons of one of my favorite Candlemass albums. I love Nightfall, of course. It flows so well.
Yeah,
because you always, I just hate it when like a album either plateaus and just meanders, or just feels disjointed. Sometimes I can handle some disjointment here and there, but
yeah,
you got to do it well.
Yeah,
you got to do it well in order for you. Because I know it's up there with me with Epicus and the Robert Lowe era stuff, especially Psalms for the Dead, because that's my favorite Lowe era, and as well as the Dactylus Glomerata album.
Yeah, Dactylus,
that one is very underrated.
Yeah,
it's very good.
I love that album too. Like it was one that
even if it's more of a space stoner rock matched with the doom sound.
Yeah.
And even Chapter 6, even if it's more power metal, like, it's just so many gems. And I think we can also agree Nightfall was the best album that Messiah is on. Ancient Dreams is close. It's close to being practically number 2, followed by Tales of Creation. And for me, honestly the weakest Messiah album, in my opinion, and people are gonna hate me for saying this,
self-titled.
It's the self-titled album.
Self-titled, yeah.
That is just the weakest one with Messiah. He just sounds like he is struggling to sing the little parts, and it hurts. I don't get any enjoyment out of saying this. Let me get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this edgelord contrarian bullshit.
Yeah.
I genuinely, it hurts to say, because I love Messiah. He's great. He has a powerful voice. And hearing his strained delivery on that 2005 album hurts my soul.
I like it a lot more
like,
than you do, but it's like it also suffers from that fucking loudness war bullshit. Like that was in the mid 2000s.
That album and then King of the Grey Islands. Death Magic Doom, it got a little bit better, and same with Psalms for the Dead, but Grey Islands and the self-titled really are victims of that. Though I will say, for the self-titled album, I do enjoy the Robert Lowe version of Black Dwarf a little bit more. I just feel like he flows better on the track than Messiah did.
Oh yeah.
It just feels more natural, because I feel like with these songs, Messiah's forcing himself. It just doesn't feel organic.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can understand him being older. And again, you know what the weird thing is?
Yeah.
Fast forward after this album, and you see live performances of Messiah.
Yeah.
Like when he sang Solitude with Procession. He sounds great.
And he sounds great.
I'm like he doesn't sound like, even when he was duetting with Eric Wagner, he didn't sound awful. He actually sounded fantastic. And I'm just like, what happened? How could he still sound good in recent years? But on that album, he sounds like he's struggling to sing the parts. I don't know if it's just from all the shows he did, or just the way the songs were written and what keys they were in. I don't know. All I could do is assume. Again, I don't get any enjoyment out of insulting Messiah's singing on this album. Yeah. I have a lot of pain just criticizing it.
Yeah. Back to Nightfall though. Like, it's a great reminder that, like, despite, you know, what you may think of self-titled and like what anyone might think of what they did afterwards, even though I personally don't think they've made a bad album. While I don't think they've made a bad album, I don't think they've made anything that quite reaches Nightfall or even Epicus, like, ever since. So, like, it's like the stuff they made after this is good, solid, great, ranges around there, but like I just think like this one especially, I don't think they've quite reached this height. Nothing wrong with that. It's the same way there's nothing wrong with Metallica not ever reaching Master of Puppets ever again. So
yeah, like, you know. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that 72 Seasons does not sound like 40-ish years ago. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, move on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about Nightfall. Again, one of my favorite albums of all time, and a top 50 metal album of all time for me. It sounds like it's an album that you love Any concluding thoughts you want to add?
Not that I can really think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Love this album. I do kind of wish that Candlemass could recapture some of that magic. I'm fine with them not repeating themselves, because obviously people were hoping that Door of Doom was going to be epic as 2, which is stupid, because for me, that album, Door of Doom, sounds like a continuation of what Psalms did, and I hope to probably see that magic brought back with the next album, because Sweet of the Sun, not that great. It's just amazing that this band is still around after all of its trials and tribulations.
Yeah, well,
and they have their legacy. They've influenced so many bands, and I'm sure Epicus and Nightfall, and by extension the other 2 Messiah albums, are cited as influences. Well, actually, not just them, just all of Candlemass, not just exclusive to the 80s material.
So yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on Candlemass's Nightfall. I do want to leave this to you for now. So you have a YouTube channel, right?
I have 2 YouTube channels. I have my main channel, Basil Bonehead, which is more gaming and modding oriented, where I talk about... Well, it's actually gaming, modding, and the occasional shit post. That channel is very inconsistent. Yeah. I have a mod analysis video in the works. I finally got around to finishing the audio for that, so it's now in the editing phase. As for Boneheaded Tunes, that's where I talk about music. I sometimes just talk about a band that I like. For example, on my channel, I have one on Scar the Martyr, which was Joey Jordison's band during Slipknot's recording hiatus. I also have my history of Johan, with him trying to come back, like his history with Candlemass before becoming a permanent member in the late 2010s, as well as with Messiah. I'm hoping in the future to do a Robert Lowe post Candlemass, because he's been busy and I still follow his activities. And I also have a typo negative video in the works. I'm still working on the script for that. And I'm also just scratching my head at the moment at what I'm going to do for my second episode of Oddities in my collection, because I love talking about weird, obscure stuff that like not a lot of people know about or care about, because I love talking about obscure topics. So look forward to that whenever those get finished.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your Scar the Martyr video. That was a really good one. You learn something new every day, and that was something I had no idea was a thing. So that was really.
And I'm contemplating actually probably remaking it, given what some new pieces of information I learned, because there were things I didn't even know or put into my mind at the time. Yeah. When I made that video.
Yeah, and it's still, and like honestly, anyone who's watching this, check his channel out. Like his stuff is very well put together, very well edited. I like your little that little short video you made that was like you previewing your other channel, and you were like, "Hey fucks," and then you just got like completely sideswiped by my avatar, destroyed.
I just I gotta do that as just like a self-aware thing. I'm like, Mad Mike's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck did you do, you little shit?
Oh man, yeah, that was jokes. I loved it, man. But yeah, anyways, thank you very much for joining me on the podcast, man. And we'll have to do this again sometime. Maybe talk about, go a little further in depth on Candlemass's discography in the future. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. And that was Basil Bonehead from Basil Bonehead and also Boneheaded Tunes joining us to talk about Candlemass's Nightfall. And that is our classic album review for this month. Thank you very much. Moving on. And now it is that time of the episode where I let my buddy Phil Michaels take over. Not only does he have an electronics store, not only does he have a pizzeria, not only does he have a funeral parlor, but now he wants to tell you about his Bible camp. Hello, Niagara. Are you down in the dumps and need the Lord to bail you out? Are you close to death and need to apologize to God for all the times you wore clothing with different fabric? Do you need to just become one with the Lord so you can psychologically compensate for being a lying, backstabbing piece of garbage? Then come on down to Phil Michaels Bible Camp. This is a brand new, state-of-the-art state-of-the-art camping site that I built where my garbage dump once stood, and it is guaranteed to brainwash your kids into becoming zombified servants of the Lord and never knowing how the real world works. I have all the brainwashing tactics in the world for you. Lying charismatic priests, mentally abusive chaperones, impromptu stoning sessions. You better submit to all of this or you will be going straight to hell. God loves you, and he will continue to love you no matter what as long as you pledge me $10,000. Guaranteed! But wait, there's more! For an extra $5,000, I will give you a personal tour of my brand new castle that I was able to afford thanks to your salvation. This is an offer you can't refuse because it's a win-win. You go to heaven, and I live comfortably. Also ask me about my life insurance. That way I'd be able to insure you and your soul for an eternity so I can still make money off you long after you're dead. Guaranteed! Phil Michaels Bible Camp. You don't need education, you just need salvation. Come on down! Thanks, Phil. I do want to let everyone know that this Bible camp, thankfully, is not within 500 yards of any school, so you got nothing to worry about there. It's ranting time, and I'm gonna rant everywhere. So we are nearing the end of April, which means concert season is just around the corner. And as much as I love this time of year, I thought I'd use this opportunity to remind everyone that is planning to go to a metal show this summer to maintain basic fucking hygiene. If you're a metalhead like me, you're gonna be in a downtrodden, smelly bar for most of your metal shows. And the last thing you want to do is add to the already disgusting odor that is permeating throughout the entire fucking building. So, the first thing you should do the day of your concert is take a fucking shower. And don't just stand in the water for 10 minutes and then get out either, because that's something a jackass would do, alright? What you actually do when you take a shower is you turn the damn water on to a hot temperature that's not hot enough to burn your fucking skin off, and then you take a bar of soap or body wash and a loofah, if that's your thing, and you rub it all over your fucking body. Make sure you actually get it everywhere. Get some soap or body wash on a fucking cloth or a loofah and stick that motherfucker between your fucking ass cheeks and you scrub the inside of your fucking ass crack. Get that son of a bitch all the way up in your asshole too, because there's tons of shit residue stuck up in there, and maybe even some cum stains if that's your thing, and that stuff's gonna stink like cabbage soup if you find yourself farting at the show, which you likely will because you'll be fucking gassed up from drinking cheap ass beer and Jack and Cokes because you worship Lemmy too much. Make sure to wash your fucking balls or your fucking cooch too, because the last thing we need is to punch you or punt you in the pit and have our hands smelling like dead trout for the rest of the fucking night, okay? You got that, you fucking dirtbags? Then, after washing your body, be sure to take some fucking shampoo, pour some in your hand, stick that gooey son of a bitch on the top of your head and start rubbing that shit all over your hair. Be sure it makes its way to your fucking scalp so that way you wash all the spider nests you got growing down there. And you can get rid of the fucking lice so you don't spread that garbage when you're flailing around like a horse's ass in the fucking mosh pit. Then when you're done your fucking shower, there's this fucking thing called deodorant. It comes in stick form. You open the motherfucker up, turn the bottom of it until some of that deodorant sticks out at the top, and you rub that motherfucker all over your fucking armpits. Be sure to do that right before the show too. Carry the fucking stick of deodorant in your goddamn pants and use it on yourself the minute you start stinking. Then, after you're done that, you got these little fucking chiclets in your mouth you call teeth. What you do there is you grab a fucking toothbrush, preferably one that you haven't stuck up your fucking asshole, pour some fucking toothpaste on it, and then you scrub your entire fucking mouth with it. You get your teeth, you get your tongue, you get the insides of your cheeks and the roof of your fucking mouth. Then, once you're done that, you take some fucking mouthwash, pour some in your mouth, let it linger in there for about 15 seconds, or until your mouth starts to burn, and you spit the fucking cocksucker out. Having good breath is important because you don't want to breathe on anyone at a show and give them a whiff of whatever stank hairy pussy you ate out the night before. It's called smelling good, so everyone around you can enjoy the show without having to smell someone's fucking BO and have it get into their skin. Smelling like a skank ain't metal. You get me?
We get you, sir!
Good. Let's move on. And as with the end of each and every one of these episodes, it is Q&A time. So if you want to ask a question, join the Mad Mike Discord. It's called Mad Mike Starship, and just wait around for a month to become an official member, and you'll be able to ask me some questions that I will answer on the podcast. So the first question here is from Emo Cat Dad. Would you rather hand me the aux cord at Christmas or have Joe Buck narrate your life for a day? Absolutely have Joe Buck narrate my life for a day. Sorry, I fucking hate Christmas music. This stuff is fucking garbage. There is one good Christmas song in existence, and that is the Grinch song, because lyrically it is a fucking masterpiece. Other than that, Christmas music should be more avoided than Burzum. And honestly, Joe Buck was pretty bad back in the day, but now he's actually a pretty good announcer. I think he just stopped giving a fuck, and he's reached a point in his career where he's just like, you know what are you gonna do? Fire me? And he's just saying whatever the fuck he wants. He's shitting on the games he's covering, along with Troy Aikman, and he seems to be having way more fun and actually being himself out there. So you know what? Didn't really like Joe Buck back in the day, but he's a much better announcer now. So yeah, I'm having Joe Buck narrate my life for a day. Thank you for your question, Donnie. And the next question is from Astolfo, the Rider of the Dragon. What was your favorite/least favorite moment about this year's WrestleMania? Well, bad news, Astolfo. I did not watch this year's WrestleMania because I don't really care about WrestleMania that much anymore. I guess my least favorite moment is the fact that Roman Reigns still has the fucking title around his waist. Like, it's been like, what, 3 years now? 3 years and change? I think he's just about surpassed Hulk Hogan's title reign, which was like 3 years and maybe 4 years back in the 80s. So I really think that title needs to change hands, and like, yeah, so that's my least favorite moment. Favorite moment, I don't know. Rhea Ripley winning, I guess. Yeah, she's the next big thing in women's wrestling, so that would be my favorite. Again, I didn't really watch this year's WrestleMania. I just looked up the results, and yeah, I guess those are my least favorite moments. Thank you for your question, Noah Stolfo. It was very appreciated. Watch AEW instead. And the next question is from Boss Antelope. What is your favorite and least favorite Godzilla movie? Not including the original or the 98 Godzilla. Oh, come on, boss. Come on, Antelope. You can't do me like that. As for least favorite outside of those, well, it is the 98 Godzilla. That is my least favorite, but outside of those, like, I don't really have a least favorite because even the bad and terrible ones are fucking hilarious. Like Godzilla vs. Megalon. I actually owned Godzilla vs. Megalon on VHS. And it is one of the most hilarious experiences I've ever had watching a movie. Same thing with the original Godzilla vs. King Kong back in 1962, where King Kong has just fucking derpy eyes. It's one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. The miniatures are fucking obvious, the puppets are fucking obvious, the stop motion animation is horrible. Everything about these movies are just so fucking cheese, but it is cheese in the best way. It's like Parmesan cheese. You know, that delicious Parmesan cheese you put on top of lasagna or pizza? Like, it's that kind of fucking cheese. It's just fucking delicious. So yeah, I don't really have a least favorite Godzilla movie that isn't the 98 one. As for my favorite, it is definitely Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla Resurgence, or whatever they called it in the US. Yeah, Shin Godzilla from 2016. It really takes Godzilla back to its roots as a unstoppable, grotesque force of nature and a metaphor for natural disasters or man-made disasters. For example, the original was actually a metaphor for Hiroshima and how it attacked Japan and all that, and that's obvious watching the original. And with Shin Godzilla, it's a metaphor for the Fukushima power plant disaster and the earthquake in Japan, or the tsunami. I can't remember which area that happened in, but that is what Shin Godzilla is referencing. It's basically like that version of Godzilla is a force of nature that is completely unstoppable, completely indestructible, and all you can do is just watch in horror. And I love Godzilla's design in that film. It is so grotesque, so horrifying to look at. Like, this is a Godzilla who's seen some shit, and it's just so, like, you can't help but feel bad for this version when you watch it, because he just looks like he's in agony throughout the entire film. It's almost like that, anyone ever see that one Treehouse of Horror episode of The Simpsons where Springfield Elementary is kind of like Hogwarts, and Bart is trying to create his own like wizard or something, but he creates this really sick looking frog that just wants to die and can't stop puking? That to me is what this version of Godzilla is. And the way they defeat Godzilla in this movie is very clever and well thought out. The way the government and the higher-ups in this movie handle the disaster, it's, again, very well written, very well thought out, and really reflects reality in these situations. And again, I think the design itself is just fucking grotesquely beautiful, and so like it won Best Picture at the Japanese Academy Awards for a reason, and well fucking deserved there. So yeah, that is my favorite Godzilla movie, not just outside the original, but like of all time. So, yeah, thank you very much for your question, Boss Antelope. And the next question is from Fred Durst Simp, aka Blackwater Rust. What are your overall thoughts on black metal as a whole? And what would you consider your top 5 favorite bands in black metal? It's a good question. And, black metal is a genre that I respect. It is a genre that I admire, and it is a genre that I like more and more the more I listen to it, but it's not something that I'm in love with. There are exceptions, and I'll be getting to that, but overall, I'm just way more of a death metal guy, way more of a thrash metal guy, way more of a power metal guy than I am a black metal guy. I prefer black metal the most when it's spiced onto another genre. So, like, let's say blackened power metal or blackened thrash metal. Blackened thrash metal, like a good example of a blackened thrash metal band would be Skeleton Witch. And those first couple albums, Beyond the Permafrost and Breathing the Fire, those are just amazing examples of how you can take black metal, sprinkle it onto another genre, and the final result being really fucking good. And again, I mentioned black and power metal, and that's essentially what Unleash the Archers were on their first few albums. Like if you listen to Behold the Devastation or Demons of the Astro Waste, like Unleash the Archers have always been power metal at their core, but in their early days they had a lot of black metal sprinkled on top of them, and those first couple albums are actually very good examples of strong blackened power metal. Heck, I even like when black metal is sprinkled onto a genre you wouldn't expect, like hardcore, blackened hardcore. That's exactly what Devilmaster is. Ecstasies of Neverending Night was one of my favorite albums from last year because I think they combined it so seamlessly. So that is when I like black metal the most, is when it's used as a spice, not the entire entree. There are exceptions. You're asking me what are my top 5 favorite black metal bands. The best answers I can give you would be the bands that sprinkle black metal on top of what they have at their core. The one exception being Enslaved. That would be my favorite black metal band, my favorite pure black metal band. And I have listened to their entire discography in the last month or two, ever since Heimdall came out, and I realized I'd only listened to Below the Lights before that, and I realized, I've been fucking sleeping on this band. Every album they've made has at least been good. Like, they have a perfect discography. They've never made a bad album. And their weakest albums are still solid 7 out of 10s. And Viking Lear Veldi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, their debut album is a masterpiece. It's one of the best out-of-body experiences I've ever had while listening to an album. In Times is my favorite album from them. It's almost like a fucking still life / Blackwater Park of black metal. And of course, Below the Lights is another fucking masterpiece. Frost, even though it's not a 10 out of 10 for me, is still a great album. And of course, Heimdall from this year is still probably my favorite of the year. Definitely top 2 at least. And of course, we have E from 2017, cue Chris Barnes. This is a band that just has an almost well, not almost, but an absolute flawless discography. And the one thing I will say about them is that they are definitely not a singles band, they are an albums band. And in order to appreciate them fully, you need to listen to every single one of their albums in full to get the proper experience. So yeah, that would be my favorite black metal band of all time. My favorite pure black metal band at their core of all time is Enslaved. So thank you very much for your question, Fred Durst Simp / Blackwater Rust. And the next question is from Melvin the Hugger. What are your favorite movies that you love for how dumb they are? I'm gonna have fun answering this one. So one of them, in case you haven't heard yet, is Batman and Robin. It is one of the stupidest movies ever made. It deserved to bomb, both critically and at the box office. The performances are awful, except for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's having the time of his life. The drama is so forced, the puns are so cringe, the action is so bad, but my god, it is one of the most entertainingly bad movies I have ever seen in my life. Probably the most entertainingly bad movie, in that it's so much fun to roast. Like, we watched it on Dem Boys. It's one of our Dem Boys videos on my other channel, and we had so much fun making fun of that movie. And I had the time of my life putting together the Dem Boys video for it because there was just so much material that I could use. And, you know, like the ice puns, those go without saying. The grass puns from Poison Ivy go without saying. You know, having Bane, but giving him the personality of Solomon Grundy is fucking hilarious. George Clooney absolutely shit the bed as Batman. And to my knowledge, he actually has a cardboard cutout of himself as Batman in his office to remind him of how bad things can get and to stay humble. Which, considering how much he likes to shit talk that movie, would not surprise me. Outside of that movie, I would say Independence Day Resurgence. I absolutely had the time of my life fucking ripping that movie a new one. Like, it's just... It is one of the worst sequels ever made. It is so dumb. It is so nonsensical and fucking cringe that I can't help but just laugh at it. First of all, Dr. Oaken coming back to life made no fucking sense. Like, he was so dead in that first movie. Former President Whitmore's speech in this one was so forced and so lame that I couldn't help but just fucking laugh at it. And of course, the fight scenes and everything, and all the battles and all this, you know, fucking all that Roland Emmerich shit. Like, it's just so fucking stupid that I couldn't help but enjoy. And the last one, of course, it's a cliche answer, but it's The Room. Just a fucking hilarious movie. Tommy Wiseau shits the bed. Nothing more I can say about that one that hasn't already been said, so we'll move on from that. But yeah, so those are some of the movies I love for how dumb they are. Thank you very much for your question, Melvin. And the next question is from Grace Omega. What are 5 of your favorite things and why? Music, movies, sports ball, video games, editing. Thank you very much for your question, Grace. And the last question is from Lady Reflection Harpy Cat. Dem Boys review of Twilight Eclipse, when? So the deal with Donnie and Eric is that we will do a Dem Boys video on every Twilight movie every single birthday I have until the series is done being watched. Fuck you guys. Seriously, like making that Dem Boys video on New Moon was fucking painful. Wanna know why? Because that movie was fucking boring and I couldn't find any fucking material to make a fucking video out of. That was one of the most painful experiences I've ever had making a video. It's probably the first video that actually felt like work to me. It was just fucking horrible fucking movie. And now we gotta watch, what, 3 more of them? You know, because they just had to fucking split Breaking Dawn into 2 fucking parts, right? Yeah, thanks, assholes. So, yeah, Twilight Eclipse, which is the 3rd one, I'm guessing, that will be released on the Dem Boys channel April 22nd of 2024. So look forward to it. Anyways, that is all the questions we have for this month's podcast. Thank you very much to everyone who asked. I had a lot of fun answering them, and I look forward to more of your questions next month. Alright, and that's it for this month's edition of the Smile Time Variety Cast. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be back with another episode at the end of May. Au revoir, tabarnak!